Great new day filled with destiny and purpose. Today we will explore day 6, the power of interpersonal leadership. The Apostle Peter said in 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 10 ESV, as each has received a gift, employ it in serving one another as good managers of the grace of God in its various forms. As we consider the theme of leadership, the first thing you must lead is yourself. I define interpersonal leadership as the ability to provide guidance and direction to the self. The effective leader of 1,000 must first lead the self effectively. And so the first task of leadership is to understand the greatness that resides within you. With the certainty of ties, God has placed within the fabric of your eternal essence a wonderful gift to be used for his purposes. I believe that gift is the gift of a father, gift of a mother, gift of a child. The greatest tragedy known on this side of eternity is for a person to be born, live, and die without making a contribution to life. That's tragic. Why are you here? You got to answer that question. The great accomplishment is for a person to be born, understand why he or she lives, and communicate their uniqueness into the world. And communicating that uniqueness is going to take time. It's going to take patience, but you can do it. The second point to ascertain from this powerful scripture reference is that our gift is to be employed in the service of others. To get that, we got to serve people. The term employ means to make use of. How many people do you know that have tremendous talents but fail to use their talents to empower themselves and others? They're like that one servant who buried his gift in the ground. We don't want to be like that. Perhaps that person is you. If it is you, you will only find fulfillment when you fulfill the purpose for which you were created. The last point to examine is the idea of being a good manager of the grace in its various forms. The term grace is defined as unmerited favor. When you think about the gifts that God has placed inside of you before you were conceived, there is nothing that you did to receive those gifts. It is simply a God's grace in your life. Our life is a gift from God, but what we do with our life is a gift back to God. You got to remember that. Being a good manager implies that you work to develop your potential and apply your gifts, which is a byproduct of God's grace. There is a saying that goes like this: life is a gift from God. What we do with life is a gift back to God. That is a prevailing principle. Spend 10 minutes asking God in prayer for specificity as it relates to your purpose in life. Decide, cut off all alternatives today to experience the power of interpersonal leadership. I want you to think about that. I want you to meditate on that. As we consider day 6, meditating on a new thought exercise, there's some things that we want to consider. The first thing that we want to consider is the reflection thought. You were created by God to express leadership in the earth. That's why you're here. To be that mom, to be that cousin, to be that brother, so forth and so on. The principle to remember: the great accomplishment is for a person to be born, understand why they live, and to communicate their uniqueness in this world. You got to know why you're here so that you live life on purpose, for purpose. The question to explore: as you think about your life, how are you serving humanity in your current environment? Ponder on that. Think about it. Live on purpose, for purpose.